Hello and welcome to my channel where I talk about tips and tricks for teaching elementary music. Okay, here's what we're going to talk about today. So for today's video, I want to talk to you about choreography. This could be something that you're creating for a program, or it could be just a regular lesson dance piece that you're creating. Now, for those of you out there that are not fond of dancing, maybe you feel like you're not comfortable doing it, or you don't have any modern moves or something of that nature, I am right there with you. I do not consider myself a dancer at all. When we're working with elementary students, simple is better than complicated. You will have some students that know all the latest dance moves out there and can put on a show for their whole class, but that is not going to be the case of the average student, especially the younger that they are. So we do very simple things like step, touch, and a clap here, or a hand motion here, or up here. Let's talk about the difference between just an everyday dance song, one that you're using in a lesson, that you're not necessarily going to do again for anything special, and one that you might use in a program where you're going to have an audience. So for a everyday dance song, that's what I'll call it, just a regular lesson song, I definitely emphasize form. So you really want to have those different motions for the different pieces of the music so the students really get that sense of form and the difference between the form. When it comes to choreography, you certainly can do dance motions on every single part of the song. However, there are other options. You could have one section of the song be rhythm patterns, like you'll see in this song that I'm getting ready to show you here. I'm going to show you a couple of examples from some videos that I made for my students last school year. I will not be playing any of the music from these videos because it is copyrighted material that was on the videos. It was not my original music, and these videos were only created for my classroom students to see. There are 3 dance moves in this song during the first section. The first move is called the swim. The second move is called the pony. Your feet are going to go like this. Hop, 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 hop. The third move looks like you're sticking your thumb out like this. Woo! Woo! The second section has rhythm patterns. Ta 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 ta. Toe, 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 toe. Ta, 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 ta. This is the A section, forward and back, forward and back. This is the B section, freestyle, dance any way you want. For the C section, we're going to do slow motion. How slow can you go? So let's talk about how to actually create those choreography pieces. In the case of the 2 videos that you just saw, those are songs that I would do just in the everyday lesson. So my process for creating choreography, my first step is I listen to the music. And I think about the age group that I'm targeting the song for and what their capabilities are. And then I think about what the music is doing as far as what genre is it, what part of the world does it come from, what instrumentation do I hear? And those all lead me towards the various steps that I come up with for my students. I do a lot of repetition. Repetition is good for these elementary kids in particular. And I also do repetition from song to song. What I mean by that is not every one of my songs will have, let's say, step 2, 3, clap, step 2, 3, clap. But probably every third or fourth song will have something like that in there. So there is some repetition to the type of choreography that I use, and there's repetition in the actual song itself with, if we are doing that type of emotion, the step 2, 3, clap, step 2, 3, clap, we're probably going to repeat that whole sequence at least one more time, if not 3 or 4 times. I also try to make my choreography form-based. What I mean by that is, if you noticed in the 2 videos that I showed you earlier, there were A sections and B sections in both of them, and one of the videos had a C section in it also. So I try to make different movements for each form, each part of the song. I will also do different movements for the phrases. So in one of those videos, the A section, I had the students doing the swim for a count of 8, and then the pony came in, and that's because that particular song that goes with, the music changes to a different phrase after that first 8 count, so the motions should change. So now let's go ahead and create one right here on the spot. I'm creating it as I'm filming it. We're going to look at this piece that I created a few videos ago to show you ABA form, and to also show you how to add rhythm accompaniment and melodic accompaniment to a particular piece of music. And we're going to look at this song, and I'm just going to come up with some choreography on the spot so that you'll see my process. Okay, here we go. So we might end up listening to the song more than once, and I also may stop and start the song along the way, just so I can kind of figure out the choreography as we're going along. Let me get something to write it down with. Otherwise, I'll never remember what I did. And here we go. Not sure that I'm crazy about that center phrase that I just did with the hands there, but let me write down step for 4, right, left, clap, and then I did the hands. I think I'm going to do something different on those hands in the middle. I'll try that again and see what I think. So let's go back and try that A section again. Yeah, I like that better. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So up, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4 in that little B phrase of the A section. So roll arms, up 4, down 4. All right, so let's go on to the B section. Okay, so you just saw a little montage where I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the B section because that was throwing me for a bit. And I decided that I'm going to put a little hand jive in there. And it's going to be, you could do this with partners or you could just do it with people by themselves. You'll see what I mean. So this is what the hand jive is going to be. This is the B section. Whoops. Sorry, let me back it up. I'm going to start at this little part here so I can get into it. So now we're going to do the whole thing from the beginning because I messed up the A section the second time. I forgot what I did there. And let me write down that we're doing pat, no, clap, partner, pat, pat, clap, clap. So if you notice on the B section, I went in the air like this. So that's where you could put a partner if you wanted, but it's just as easy to have the students just do this. As a matter of fact, if we were in a program setting, if I had this as part of their choreography and I had an odd number of students, then the student on the end would simply do it in the air like this while the other ones are facing each other for partners. We practice like that in the classroom just so that they're aware if you end up in this end spot there that it's okay for you to just face the audience and do this for those two measures that you're doing the partner work. Okay, let's do the whole song from the beginning. I'm probably going to make some mistakes, but that's okay. Here we go. So in the case of like the little one measure interludes, you clearly saw that I made some mistakes there. That's okay. We were just running through it. But in the case of those little one measure interludes or a coda, most songs are going to have like an introduction, not all, but some will have an introduction, possibly an interlude, possibly a coda. So in any of those spots, you could give your students the option to do freestyle. You saw that there was one video that I showed you where my students could do freestyle on one of the sections. My students love to do freestyle. Just make sure you establish some ground rules there, that running is not dancing. Make sure that what you're dancing is appropriate for school. Make sure you're aware of your space around you. And you cannot go up to somebody else and put your hands on them while you're dancing unless they agree to it. And by that, I mean, I will have some students that will look at each other and be like, hey, let's do a little hand jive. Or, hey, let's lock our arms and do a step forward or a step back, because they want to have that interaction. Of course, none of that has happened since the pandemic started. So that probably will not be happening again anytime soon in my classroom. Any partner work that I would do would just be partner with the air, or you could face each other, but we're not touching hands right now. Let's talk about the difference between creating a song just for a regular lesson and a song that you want to put on for an audience. So the song that you're going to create for a regular lesson, I definitely make those form-based. 100% try to make those form-based, not trying to be artistic at all. A song that I might do for a program, it might be form-based, it might be artistic, it might be a combination of both. So for a program piece, you might decide that you want to do a song that has like more of a Broadway feel to it, like a showstopper feel to it for your program. And those might lean more, they may not have like a specific form that really jumps out at you, like here's the A, B, C. It might be more a lot of little bridges in between, and it might lean more towards being artistic in nature, where you want to match the words, or you want to do some funny motion that'll make the audience laugh, or something of that nature. So I'm just going to show you one of the program pieces that I did a couple of years ago. Once again, I am not going to play the music on this, but I just want you to see what I mean by more artistic. It's not specifically form focused, it's more artistic focused, more trying to be, this is going to be a big deal of what's going to happen. And I'm probably going to do some voiceover work on this so that you can hear my thoughts and my explanations of what you're seeing on the actual choreography.
So we're in the middle of this song, and you can see some of the standard steps that I told you that I use, and now the music has slowed considerably. And this song is about trees, so I'm just doing different poses, like I'm trying to be a tree or tree branches. And eventually the snare drum is going to come in, and I will switch to marching. So there was the tempo change, the snare drum is switching to marching. And the fun thing about this particular piece is at the end, there's this really nice slow coda that leaves a lot of room for interpretation with what you want to do and being more artistic. So shortly, you're going to see me getting into different positions that I had my students get into. They were in groups of 4, and we practiced this a lot in the classroom. So the first position was on their knees. That's me telling them to get in their positions. And then the second person was standing up right behind them. And then there's a person to the right on their knees and a person to their left on their knees, because I was trying to create this tableau of trees with the branches sticking out and then their hands waving leaves in the air. So you'll see it here on this nice slow count of 1. Number 2 goes up, number 3 goes up, number 4 goes up, and then all 4 of them are just doing that.
Okay. I hope that you learned some tips and tricks on how to create choreography for your students, whether it's a regular lesson dance piece or whether it is a program piece. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful day.